stampede. I stomps through the ghetto like my name's low key. Got a click of OG. Trust it's not a stage show. See Joe Rush in the ring, get out the way. I'll beat you down like it's part of the plan. I'm a man who never ran from a brawl, so understand. Against the grain, yeah, we taking over your town. Give it up, cause it's over with now. It's the Beatdown Clan.
Man, MVP, my boy Montel Montavious Porter came back this week.
Yo, where who kid? Yo, what it do, kid? BDC, MVP, and we coming through, kid. Deadly combination like a soda and some pop rocks. Ain't the one big kitty bunch when you start by. Realest in the game, but we ain't no club. Call yourself a shooter, but no bullets in your gun. Finish what you like enough so you can have the rest. And tell your girl I'm sorry about that cutting on the dress. Obnoxious, aggressive, and violent as hell. They wanna lock us in a prison cell. Pavlov's dog salivating in the bell. Shoulders gonna kill you, that's what they yell. See us on your block, son, address us with respect. I'll smash you in your mouth and suplex you in your neck. We ain't got no friends, isolated like Iran, yeah. Red and black attack, we the Beatdown Clan.
Beatdown Clan. It's the Beatdown. Y'all already know who it is. It's your boy, the WildKat, J. Troy. Episode 4 of the WildKat Wrestling Wrap-Up. And wow, I had to start off with that song that I used last week. That was the Beatdown Clan from TNA, man. But do you know who was in the Beatdown Clan? My man MVP, a.k.a. Montel Vontavious Porter, who returned this Sunday at the Royal Rumble. We're going to get to the Royal Rumble. We're going to get to how this particular Rumble, I think made me experience every emotion under the sun. And that's the beauty of pro wrestling. You know, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about that. When I mean by that, I'm talking about the men's Royal Rumble match. I'm going to get into why I think this pay-per-view was just adding me. Like, it was, it had great moments. But to me, is it a pay-per-view that I'll rewatch over? Hell no. But before we get into that, there's one thing I forget to do every show in the beginning, and that's give the number away. If you want to chime in on the conversation, it's 347-422-7289. One more time, 347-422-7289. And if you're watching the YouTube stream, the number is right there. Boom! So you can call in. Don't be scared. Chime in. Call a brother. You can call Tyrone. All right, enough of that. And another thing, R.I.P. to the Black Mama Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi and the rest of the victims that passed away in that horrific helicopter crash this past weekend. And Mamba, we doing this for you, man. We just gonna carry on your legacy by just carrying the Mamba mentality, and that's why I'm doing this show. So, R.I.P. to Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and everybody who was affected by the tragedy that happened this weekend. But the Royal Rumble, my favorite pay-per-view of the year, is gone. Well, for 2020, it's been gone, played out, and we're about to talk about it right now. Now, the pay-per-view to me, right? Pay-per-view to me was just okay, I'm gonna start off with the women's Royal Rumble match. Okay, you know I'm gonna really talk about these Royal Rumble matches. The majority, you know, to speak about the whole pay per view, but the women's Royal Rumble to me, right? So this match left so much for me to like. They left so many people out, man. I feel like. They could have used more NXT people in there. I thought I was going to see Rhea Ripley in there. I dead serious thought I was going to see Rhea Ripley in there. Maybe a Kate and Kazaro was going to come back. There was Io Shirai in there? I'm not even sure if Io Shirai was in there. But anyway, two positives came out of this, right? And it's not Shayna Baszler because I did not want her to win, nor Charlotte Flair. But I'll get to that in a second. Naomi returned. And Melanin Magic was in full effect. She came back with her afro. The family one of my extended family members, Naomi, she came back and she definitely showed up and she showed out, even though she didn't win. Or I would have went crazy in the bar, Legends Bar. I would have went crazy in there had Naomi won this match. But to me, the real MVP of this match was Bianca Belair, who got 8 eliminations, and she showed up, man. Somebody from NXT who's definitely, when she gets called up to the main roster, she has star written all over her. She's one of those people that's no matter how trash the booking is, you're gonna know who Bianca Belair is. Just like she showed up at this Royal Rumble, she got 8 eliminations, and at one point it was just her in the ring. Like, she took out Alexa Bliss. It started out with her and Alexa Bliss, and she took out mad people. And it came down to her and Charlotte Flair. And if those people, the people that really follow Bianca Belair from the beginning, her dream match was her versus Charlotte. I've been following Bianca Belair ever since she started training at the Performance Center. And I know how much she wanted to fight Charlotte Flair, go head to head with Charlotte Flair in some way to do the genetics versus genetics. But Bianca, she definitely showed up. She was the overall MVP of that match. She was the best part of the Women's Royal Rumble. To me. Even though she didn't win, she was the best part. Now, when I was at the bar, right, there was a lot of people that was heavy Shayna Baszler fans. And a lot of people want to see Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch. And, of course, they would want Shayna Baszler to beat Becky Lynch. So, in doing that, they wanted her to win the Royal Rumble. And that was it. She came out as number 30. It was predictable. I mean, it wasn't that predictable. I just figured number 30 was going to be either Ronda Rousey or Shayna Baszler. But once it got closer down to the number 30 spot in the Royal Rumble, and I did not see any Shayna Baszler, I was like, oh, crap, she's going to be number 30. And there goes my dream of seeing Ronda walking down the ramp with the shoulders moving. That went away. And I was disappointed when it came down to Charlotte Flair and Shayna Baszler, 2 people that I did not want to see get a title match at WrestleMania. Now, you ask me, why don't you want Shayna Baszler winning this match and going on to fight Becky Lynch at WrestleMania to beat her for the championship? I don't want another Shayna Baszler title run. She just had an NXT Women's Championship title run that lasted longer than Asuka's record. So you mean to tell me you're willing to sit through another Shayna Baszler title run when Becky Lynch, she might have unfinished business with Shayna Baszler, okay, for the whole Survivor Series thing, but no, she has a bigger fish to fry with Ronda Rousey. That's why I wanted to see Ronda Rousey come through number 30 and win the Royal Rumble. But we didn't get Ronda winning. We didn't get Shayna Baszler winning. We got Charlotte freaking Flair, the person that the least deserving person on the women's roster. And it's not saying that Charlotte's a bad wrestler. We all know that Charlotte's a great wrestler. She's one of the best women's wrestlers, top 5, in my opinion, top 5. But this woman has had everything handed to her in her hand. She has everything. She's already a 10-time women's champion. 10-time women's champion. And this woman can finesse her way into any form of match. You remember SummerSlam times? She wasn't even in a title match. They threw her Trish Stratus. Charlotte Flair is one of those people that you don't need to give her a Money in the Bank briefcase. You don't need to give her a Royal Rumble win because she always finds her way in a big match. You remember last year with the whole Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey? We thought we was going to get Becky and Ronda one-on-one, and Vince McMahon just threw Charlotte in there just because he wanted to. Just because he wanted to. This Charlotte Flair is the least deserving person because she gets everything handed to her. She's already a 10-time women's champion. She main evented WrestleMania last year. What more can this woman do? Besides beat her father's record, which they're heading. And when she beats her father's record, then what after that? What after that? She going to become a 20-time women's champion? But she ends up winning the Royal Rumble. And from what I'm hearing going around is that she's supposed to challenge Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship. You wasted the Royal Rumble spot. And there's no shade to I'm not trying to shade the NXT championship at all. This is more to Charlotte. Charlotte could have found her. Charlotte literally could have walked to NXT and just pulled up and say, like, Rhea, I want to challenge you for the title at WrestleMania. Boom! She would have got the match. She would have got the match. She didn't need the Royal Rumble win. She didn't need the Royal Rumble win. But they wasted the Royal Rumble win on Charlotte Flair so she can challenge. Now, this is what's supposed to happen. Now, it hasn't been confirmed yet, and you know Vince McMahon is known to change his mind. Because we don't want to see Charlotte versus Bayley. We don't want to see Charlotte versus Becky Lynch. We've seen that 165,000 times. Charlotte and Rhea Ripley be a great match. But we did not need to waste the Royal Rumble, the Women's Royal Rumble, just to get Charlotte Flair there. Charlotte literally could have walked on NXT on Wednesday night and be like, yo, Rhea, I want to challenge you for the title. Come fight the Queen. You done beat everybody. You beat Shayna Baszler. You done beat. Come fight the Queen at WrestleMania. Boom! There's the title match. I'm quite sure everybody in Full Sail University would have been yes, 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 doing all the yesing. We would have got the match. But no. That outcome really pissed me off because it was a real wasted opportunity. Real wasted opportunity. The Fiend versus Bray Wyatt. I thought that was a great strap match. Good storytelling. Those men put it all on the line. The strap was in full effect. Full effect. The men, like, they hit each other. If you would have saw Daniel Bryan's back, all the people that say pro wrestling is fake, check out that match. You can't fake those marks that was on Daniel Bryan's back. He was all kinds of jacked up. The Fiend was messed up too. Both of them men had scars on them. They really kicked each other's asses. That was a great Universal title match. Other than the Becky and Asuka match, those two matches was like the best to me. Yeah, now that I'm thinking of it, the Corbin Roman Reigns match, even though you had the schmozzery with my family and Brood and Ziggler, that was the best part about the match, but the outcome was never, up in the air. Like, we all knew Roman Reigns was going to win that match, but to me, like, that match didn't really do it to me. They could have shaved off an extra 5 to 7 minutes of that match. But yeah, the Asuka and Becky Lynch match, it delivered for me. Great storytelling with the mist at the end. Asuka's about to do the mist and Becky Lynch do the kick, and Asuka spits the mist in the air and it gets in Asuka's face. That was a beautiful spot. And the disarmor, that was a beautiful spot. Becky Lynch collects that debt. The one person that she could not beat, she finally beat, made her tap out. Great storytelling in that match. That was one of Becky Lynch's best matches, other than the one between her and Sasha Banks. I think the Sasha Banks Hell in a Cell match was Becky Lynch's best match as Royal Women's Champion. But after that, I would definitely put this Asuka match up there. The Men's Royal Rumble match. Where do we start? Where do we freaking start? Like I said, it made me experience almost every emotion. Happiness, sadness, jealousy, excitement, envy. Like, did I say? I don't know if I said jealous and envy. I don't know. But anyway, I feel like I experienced every emotion with this Royal Rumble. And they did something right. I'm glad that Drew McIntyre won the Royal Rumble match, because that man, if anybody deserved that, it was him. Drew McIntyre deserved it. And I've been preaching ever since I started this show a few weeks ago. Drew McIntyre needed to win the Royal Rumble match. I wanted him or Aleister Black. But more Drew McIntyre. I needed somebody to be made. And Drew McIntyre was sitting right there. Drew McIntyre was the diamond that was waiting to be formed. Babyface, people behind him, it's organic. We want something fresh. We wanted something new. And WWE, you did something right. But God damn it, in the beginning of this match, y'all took me through it. With Brock Lesnar dumping out 13 men. 13 14 men by himself. Now, in those moments of him throwing out those men, we had some good face-offs, like Kofi Kingston. That was some great storytelling right there, because Kofi Kingston was, you remember a few months ago when that first episode on SmackDown on Fox, the travesty, the debacle that happened with that. Kofi Kingston losing his championship in under 10 seconds. I do believe it was about 8 seconds. The debacle with that. And Kofi Kingston he hasn't really seen Brock on WWE television since then. So when Kofi Kingston came out, hell, I was even behind it. Even though I knew Kofi Kingston was gonna get dumped out, but I wanted to see that. And everybody in that stadium wanted to see that, and it was good. It was great storytelling right there. Rey Mysterio came out, and the storytelling between Rey Mysterio and Brock Lesnar recently with the whole Cain Velasquez thing, and his son Dominic getting the hell beat out of him, which I will still watch that back. I enjoyed that beatdown. I'm not gonna hold you. Brock Lesnar beating up Rey Mysterio's son, it was very enjoyable to me for some reason. Dominic didn't do nothing to me, but I just love to see it. Big E giving the big ending to Brock Lesnar. What? Big E? And that was freaking great. That was one of those moments that I'm surprised people didn't really speak about. Big E giving the big ending to Brock Lesnar, bro. Yo, that was crazy. And then we got Keith Lee. Keith Lee, the standoff between, oh my God, okay, well, now that I'm thinking about it now, this is the real emotions that's coming back. Yeah, Keith Lee, right? So at that point, I thought Keith Lee was going to eliminate Brock Lesnar. I thought Keith Lee was going to be the one, because it was rumored that Keith Lee was, Brock Lesnar was going to have this face-off or whatever. Keith Lee and Braun Strowman's out there together. Now, they made Keith Lee and Braun Strowman look like morons. They made them look like idiots, because them two took their attention away from Brock Lesnar. They want to fight each other because they're two gigantic men, two big behemoths. This is Godzilla versus King Kong right here. It's about to clash. And they did clash. And in doing that, they made them look like morons. They made them look like idiots, because Brock Lesnar just dumped them both out the ring at the same time. And then by then, I was just like, yo, I don't know what can happen. But before the Keith Lee thing, I sort of skipped over, I think. I'm just going around the whole thing before Drew McIntyre finally eliminated him. MVP, my man Montel Vontavious Porter, MVP, came back. And it was rumored that he was coming back, but, with WWE, you got to actually see it. Like with the whole thing with Edge coming back, you had to actually see it. Now, there's always rumors in wrestling. There's things that are true, and there's things that's false. Sometimes the wrestlers play with our heads. They sing messages like John Cena did a whole bunch of times on his Instagram account. But MVP came back, and my boy was looking fresh, cleaner than the Board of Health with that Black Panther outfit, man. Wakanda. And I wasn't a big fan of Black Panther like that, but god damn it, that Black Panther suit was elite, bro. That joint was official. That boy came out looking clean, but then he got dumped out quickly by Brock Lesnar in under 30 seconds. But it was great to see my man Montel Vontavious Porter, man, because everybody knows who knows me. MVP was one of my favorite wrestlers, man. He's up there as one of my favorite wrestlers. Now, he's not an AJ Styles. He's not a Shawn Michaels. But to me, he was a great storyteller. He knows the business. He respects the business. And I just always have respect for that man. For some reason, it was something about MVP that just made me always respect him, because he cares. This man, he gives his life to this business. He definitely loved this business. And a lot of wrestlers do, but for some reason, I just respect the way that he respects the business, MVP. And, his career is coming to an end. I'll get to that in after the break and everything. But seeing my man MVP coming back and you hearing, I'm coming! When I heard that, I was just like, yo, my boy is back, man. Oh, man, that's one of those wrestlers that I hope I get to meet one day. That he's on that list. I have to meet him. Like, there's some wrestlers that's just like, maybe I'll meet, but MVP is one of those wrestlers that's just like, man, I got to meet that man. But it was great to see my man Montel Vontavious Porter back. But anyway, we go on to Ricochet. Ricochet comes out. You remember he has the whole beef with Brock Lesnar. And Brock Lesnar kicked him in the nuts or whatever. So Ricochet gets his comeuppance, right? And he ends up low-blowing Brock Lesnar when Drew McIntyre comes out, because Drew McIntyre caused a distraction. Ricochet hits the low blow, and Drew McIntyre Claymore kicks Brock Lesnar outside the ring, and the whole arena and the bar where I was at, erupted. That was a great moment, man. Brock was finally out. Now we can finally have a real Royal Rumble match. It seemed like there was 2 Rumbles in one in this. And in doing that, I went from being pissed off with the Royal Rumble match to like, hey, finally we can have a real Rumble match. People could pile up in the ring. And then that's when the match really began. So let's just fast forward to when Edge comes out. 21. 3, 2, 1. You think you know me. I think everybody in that moment, if you was a pro wrestling fan, even if you wasn't a big Edge fan, you got excited because you know what this man had to go through. Triple fusion neck surgery. I don't know exactly what that is, but it sounds like it hurts. He did all of that to repair his neck, to come back and wrestle for us for 3 more years because, yes, he signed a 3-year contract. And that includes 25 appearances, and I do believe he's supposed to wrestle about like 5 matches per year. Well, did I do that? I hope I mathematically said that right. That's what I wrote. That's what I read on Wrestling Inc. I do believe it's like 5 appearances per year, and he's supposed to 25 appearances per year and 5 matches, something like that. But it's a 3-year contract. But seeing Edge come back and he's went on a spear frenzy, speared Dolph Ziggler, speared AJ Styles, spears Drew McIntyre. I do believe like he speared mad heads in his match, and Edge had it. It was like as though he never left. Now, he did age a little bit. You know, you see the age, but goddamn, Edge got into the best. This is the best I've seen Edge, like, body-wise, since before he left. Because before he left, Edge wasn't even toned like that. But he came back. You can see the abs forming. Like, Edge was in full effect. I feel like I was watching Ruthless Aggression era Edge, body-wise. Now, facial-wise, he's a 46-year-old man, and he's starting to show it. But Edge can still move, so it came down to Randy Orton, Edge, Drew McIntyre, and Roman Reigns as the final 4. They beat the hell out of Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was number 30. They beat him up and threw him out the ring. But anyway, the final 4 was those 4 men. And Edge eliminates Randy Orton. Roman Reigns eliminates Edge. So in that moment, now, you remember what the rumor was? The rumor was that Roman Reigns was supposed to win the Royal Rumble match. And in that moment, it was just like, oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Drew McIntyre is right here. We have Drew. We have Roman. We have Roman. We have Drew. And it's just like, are they really going to do this? Are they going to do this? Are they going to do this? Are they going to play with our heads again? Are they going to play with our heads again? Or are they really going to give it to Roman? They already gave it to Charlotte early in the night. So I wouldn't be surprised if they gave it to Roman. Charlotte Flair winning made no sense. And Roman Reigns winning doesn't make any sense. Are they really going to do it? But one Claymore kick, throw over the ropes, and there you go. Drew McIntyre is your 2020 Royal Rumble winner. And that man deserved it. All the stuff that this man has gone through. He had to leave WWE to reinvent himself, change his character up. And this man finally, after all these years, even after he came back and all the plates of crap that this man had to eat, even when he came to the main roster and all the pointless feuds he was in, hell, even him losing to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, which I thought was a mistake, they finally gave him a big win at a big stage, and you see the emotion on this man's face. This man was in tears. This man was crying. And it was just a great feeling, man. We got a great ending to a pay-per-view that I thought was okay. It was a pay-per-view that had great moments. We had 2 good title matches with the Becky Lynch and Asuka match, and then we had the freak. I'm having a brain fart. The Universal title match. Those 2, the Lacey Evans Bayley match was, oh God, no. And then we had the Roman Reigns Baron Corbin match. I thought it dragged a little too long. The women's debacle was BS. I mean, Naomi coming back and Bianca Belair was the best parts of that. And Drew McIntyre winning the Royal Rumble match is definitely something that was worth it. It was worth going through the whole Brock Lesnar thing. Will I rewatch this Royal Rumble over? Probably not. Probably just to watch. I'll probably just watch the clip of Edge coming back. But other than that, to rewatch this Royal Rumble, nah. So I'm gonna go on a quick little break, and I'm going to, hit y'all back with some news. Talk about some MVP, talk about Andrade, his suspension, and the SmackDown Live lineup, which is a freaking joke, from what I'm seeing. So we about to be back. I'm gonna take a little break. I gotta, take my water break because my throat piece is kind of dry. So listen to my boy JM. Thank for you.
Mommy looking right, I got a thing for her. Type of energy, I like the baddest chick on the earth. Can't I lie, I got a thing for ya. Mommy looking hella back, come on, let's see what's up. Baby, why you always looking like that? Oh, we fly with the fist and that's fat. Hold me back, I can't get enough of all of that. I know you feel the vibe, cause you fucking with me. But I look in your eyes, I know you ain't tryna leave. Let's start off the night right. Pounds of weed in the complex sounds nice. Let me show you how to happy move. With me, shawty, you never lose. Only thing that I know is how to count out W's. Only wins, only wins, girl. Having you by my side is the biggest win, girl. I'll be stupid if I front on you, cause I know the feelings are mutual. You know you got it. Ain't no time to waste, girl, let's get it poppin'. Oh, you know you got it. Let me hold you down, I'm not fucking around. Mommy looking right, I got a thing for her. Type of energy, I like the baddest chick on the earth. Can't lie, I got a thing for her. Mommy looking hella back, come on, let's see what's up. Mommy looking right, I got a thing for her. Type of energy, I like the baddest chick on the earth. Can't lie, I got a thing for ya. Mommy looking hella back, come on, let's see what's up.
I got what you want, I got what you need. Cute to the T, you know you feeling me. Bobbing and we grinding, let's make this money shining. I don't got no time for your exes to be wildin', so only hit my line if you not wasting time. Can't make you mine if we don't wine and dine. You know to the blind, shorty stay fly. Can't compare no dummy to someone like I. Real bitch, I talk shit, y'all niggas can't touch me. Always on 50, never no bullshit. Can't vibe with no phony. Excuse me, you owe me. It's JM and J New. Pull up like hey, baby, looking good, got a thing for me. This energy you like, you know I got what you need. Baby boy, you know I'm feeling ya. So be real, are you ready? But let's see what's up.
Mommy looking right, I got a thing for her. Type of energy, I like the baddest chick on the earth. Can't lie, I got a thing for ya. Mommy looking hella back, come on, let's see what's up. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Think about you when I'm all good now. Baby, are you messing with me? If you want me, why waste all this time? Let's get it back, even if it's wrong. You and I can act like it's all good. We both know that it's all done. Even though I hope someday, one day, you gotta say what's real. Just speak on how you feel. Just tell me what it do, my lady. Talk to me nice, you know I'm about that life. You got a brother dropping real lately. You gotta say what's real, just speak on how you feel. Just tell me what it do, my lady. Talk to me nice, you know I'm about that life. But first, girl, answer these questions. Yeah. Do you want me, baby, do you want me back? It might be wrong, but we gotta face all the facts. Do you miss me? Tell me that you miss me, girl. Don't wanna be the only one in my feelings, girl. Do you want me, baby, do you want me back? It might be wrong, but we gotta face all the facts. Do you miss me? Tell me that you miss me, girl. Don't wanna be the only one in my feelings, girl. No, no, no. No, 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 no. about that life. You got a brother tripping real lately. You gotta say what's real, just speak on how you feel. Just tell me what it do, my lady. Talk to me nice, you know I'm about that life. But first, girl, answer these questions. Yeah. Do you want me, baby? Do you want me back? It might be wrong, but we gotta face all the facts. Do you miss me? Tell me that you miss me, girl. Don't wanna be the only one in my feelings, girl. Do you want me, baby? Do you want me back? It might be wrong, but we gotta face all the facts. Do you miss me? Tell me that you miss me, girl. Don't wanna be the only one in my feelings, girl. No, no, no. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Girl.
And we right back, baby. It's your boy, the WildKat, J. Troy, with the WildKat Wrestling Wrap-Up on WEMS Radio. If you want to chime in, if you want to call a brother, you can call Tyrone on 347-422-7289. 347-422-7289. And if you're on the YouTube, the number's right there. It's boom right there. Just in case you didn't hear me from the tune that I sung, the number's boom right there. Like, bow, right there in your face. But anyway, Royal Rumble is done. Played out. The road to WrestleMania begins, right? The road to WrestleMania begins. Now, SmackDown's lineup, right? And I'm glad I'm choosing to go out tonight rather than watch SmackDown, because this card is not. Why do I need this? You want to hear this? This is your card for SmackDown. Now, this is supposed to keep me home on a Friday night, right? Now, out of all the matches, this is the match that we thought that was going to be at the Royal Rumble, but I guess they just bumped it to SmackDown. And this is probably the one that I would want to see what happens. Braun Strowman versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Hold up. I made a mistake. Let me come off the break screen. I made a mistake. Bow. Now you see me. Now, Braun Strowman versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the IC title. Now, oh my gosh. Maybe, you know what? Because I really want to talk about Nakamura and the sadness. The sadness when it comes to wrestlers like Shinsuke. You see my hands right now? You see my freaking hands right now? I get pissed off talking about the booking of Shinsuke Nakamura, even though I want Braun Strowman to win this match. Because I do believe once Braun Strowman wins this match, it's going to lead to him fighting Sheamus for the title, and then Sheamus getting that one championship that keeps him away from being a Grand Slam champion. But I do want to see that match, Braun versus Sheamus, because that is going to be a freaking war. But anyway, tonight might be the night Braun Strowman wins his first singles championship. And, yeah, out of all the matches, it's probably the only one that I really want to see. Now, we move on to Thumb Thug Uso, man. I'm Thug Uso, Jimmy Thug, UJ Thug, Uso down since day one. That is me and Roman Reigns, the bloodline, a.k.a., my family, versus King Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, and Bobby Bob Roode in another six-man match. A rematch from last week. We're moving backwards, WWE. We're moving backwards. This Roman Reigns match versus him and King Corbin. Two guys that I like. This rivalry was supposed to be done. We're tired of this rivalry. We thought it was going to be done. It's over. It's time for Roman Reigns to move on to bigger and better things. It's time for my family, them Thug Uso, Jimmy Thug, UJ Thug, Uso, to move on to the titles, the SmackDown Live tag team titles, so we can once again lock that tag team division in a penitentiary. We put that on lockdown mode, put them back to where they was. But no, you're gonna keep my family in this debacle, this poor rivalry with the whole Roode, Ziggler, and Corbin. Why is this happening? We saw it played out. First of all, we saw this match last week, and we saw the Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin match finish at the pay-per-view. It's supposed to be done. I don't want to see Baron Corbin nor Roman Reigns in the same freaking ring for the next few months. We didn't see enough of it. Going back to the whole dog food thing. Going back to the whole dog food thing, I do not want to see this anymore. Anyway, the bloodline is going against this. This is crap. Shorty G versus Sheamus. Now, I didn't discuss the whole Shorty G versus Sheamus match on the pre-show, but surprisingly, it was a good match. No, not really surprisingly, because, I thought it was going to be a squash. That's why I'm saying surprisingly. It was a competitive match, and Shorty G had a lot of offense in that match. He tore up Sheamus' knee. Like, it was a good match. Now, do I think that Sheamus is going to win this match? Yes. You brought back Sheamus. This is a former world champion. If you're going to have this Braun Strowman match, you can't have how about this Roman Reigns? You can't have Sheamus lose these matches like this. Now, this is WWE. So, if Shorty G wins, don't be surprised if Shorty G wins with a roll-up. Roll-up, because nobody in WWE can get out of roll-ups. They can kick out of every move under the sun. You can get power driven. You can get choke slam. You can get suicide dive. You can get super kick. But people don't seem to know the formula on how to get out of a roll up. But I digress. Sheamus versus Shorty G, right? Sheamus versus Shorty G. A rematch from the Royal Rumble pre-show. Is the ending up in the air? I think Sheamus is going to win, but don't be surprised if Shorty G wins. But do we care? Do you really care? Do you really care that Shorty G and Sheamus is having a rivalry? Hell no. This is not the booking for Chad Gable we wanted. We move on to the number one contenders fatal 4-way match, and I probably expect this is probably the main event. They better not put the Bloodline as the main event, because that match was just so long and it wasn't even a good match last week. But knowing WWE, they probably make that the main event. The Lucha House Party versus the Revival versus Heavy Machinery versus Miz and Morrison. A high stakes. That's what they call it, a high stakes, a.k.a. number one contenders match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, right? People who's watching, people who's listening right now. Now I just named the teams. Lucha House Party, The Revival, Heavy Machinery, and Miz and Morrison. Can we all say that Miz and Morrison's going to win this match only because they've been having this little small rivalry with the New Day this past few weeks? This is the most predictable fatal 4-way match I've seen in a... Matter of fact, a lot of things WWE has been very predictable. But this, do we really have to do this? Do we really have to go through a whole fatal 4-way match? We already know Miz and Morrison's going to win this. And if they don't win this, the last few weeks has been for nothing. I guess beggars can't be choosers, because last week I was talking about making number one contenders great again. Bring back people becoming real number one contenders. But in this case, they already had pinfall victories over New Day members. So this match, I wouldn't have argued if they would have gave this match and be like, okay, this week or leading into the Elimination Chamber, we're going to have Miz and Morrison versus the New Day. I wouldn't have been arguing that. There's your SmackDown Live lineup. I'm glad I'm going out tonight. But I will catch the clips on YouTube, okay? Because there's no sense of sitting 2 hours through SmackDown just to see that. Like, we already know what's going to happen. But, on to news. Okay, we got some news. You know what? I'm going to start off with some AEW news. I got... Actually, a couple things to talk about AEW. And then I'm gonna come back to WWE. Luke Harper. Everybody know Luke Harper. I love Luke Harper. One of the most misused people in WWE history, next to Cesaro. You just see the anger in my face. You just see the anger in my face when I talk about Cesaro, because it's just like, it's a crime what they do to talent like Sami Zayn, to Luke Harper, to Cesaro. Hell, even Samoa Joe. Nakamura. But Luke Harper finally got himself out of that WWE contract. And he's signed. He's signing with AEW. There's nothing up in the air. He's not going to New Japan. He's not going to Impact. He's not going to ROH. He's not going to NWA. He's going to AEW, and he's expected to debut in March. I think it was March 16th. I think that's the date. Don't quote me on it, but it's in March because that's when his 90-day contract, his 90-day no-compete clause in his contract is up. But Luke Harper is going to AEW, and he's probably going to use the Brody Lee name because that was his name on it, and he can't use Luke Harper because that's a WWE name. But I'm happy for him. I'm happy for this man because, like I said, he was one of the most misused people in WWE. And going back to 2017, I thought they finally was going to start using Luke Harper right, the correct way, the way that this man deserves to be used. They played with our heads. I thought the match between Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, and Bray Wyatt for the WWE title should have been a triple threat. I thought Luke Harper should have been in that match. Now, he probably didn't have to win, but around that time, Luke Harper was gaining some steam. People was getting behind Luke Harper because he was not really too fond of Randy Orton being in the Wyatt family. So he wasn't with it. And people was getting behind Luke Harper. And I do believe around that time, like, him and AJ Styles went back and forth at one point. But he was kind of turning into a face. People was getting behind Luke Harper. And it was just like, okay, finally WWE starting to use this man the correct way. But they didn't. Him and Eric Rowan ended up forming the Bludgeon Brothers, and then they won the tag team titles. I mean, that was one good thing that they did. They finally became tag team champions on the main roster. But Luke Harper as a single star, man, that was something that we always wanted to see because he is that type of person. He can be in a tag team, but he's a singles guy. Like Cesaro. They keep throwing Cesaro in these freaking tag teams. And he's a single star at heart, man. But AEW, I know AEW is going to use him right, and somebody like a Luke Harper, that's what AEW, they need more guys like that, like these Luke Harper people, to really showcase the world the talent that they really have. I'm happy for this man. You know what? I always come on here and it seems like I'm always like kind of negative when it comes to AEW, but I just want their product to be better. To me, the product hasn't really been delivering. It just hasn't really been delivering. And, you know, that's an unpopular opinion. But to me, it's just been But somebody like a Luke Harper, somebody that I want to see shine, you know, get that spotlight so we can really see something special. I'm excited for this. Have a Moxley versus Brody Lee match for the heavyweight title on AEW. One of those street fight, unsanctioned, whatever name you want to throw on it, matches. Oh, CCW in full effect. Because those two men is not going to hold back. You thought the Kenny Omega Moxley match was physical? Put Brody Lee, a.k.a. Luke Harper, versus Moxley in one of those type of matches. Just watch what those men can do. So I'm happy for them. I'm happy for AEW, and I'm happy for Luke Harper. The Mox and Jericho match has been announced for Revolution, so we're finally getting this title match, and I kind of said what my outcome would be of that match. I do expect Mox, I'm just going to freaking Mox, I do expect Mox to walk out as the champion and beating Jericho and become the second AEW World Champion. That's going to be a good match. Now, the rest of this build-up should be interesting because we saw this before. We saw Dean Ambrose versus Jericho in WWE, and it was kind of an interesting rivalry. They had the long Ambrose Asylum match. I mean, that was a good physical match, but it was kind of long. But this match should be good. I know these men, they know each other well. They not afraid to hold each other back in any way. I know they're going to give it their all in this match. I think this is going to be a great world title match. This is something that I'm looking forward to watching, the AEW. I might go out to the bar and watch this pay-per-view. I just might. So, yeah. It was another thing. It's not even on my notes, but it was something that Kenny Omega said last week that kind of kind of hoping that AEW don't do, like make a trios championship. There are enough. There are, you know, let me drink some water right quick. Hold on. All this yelling that I'm doing. All these 6-man matches that I've been seeing for in WWE and AEW has been overkill. It has been overkill, and it's been. I thought WWE ran the six-man thing into the ground. AEW, y'all ran the 6-man match into the ground. Into the freaking ground. Do I want to see trios championships? Hell no. Because that's just going to give us another excuse to give us more 6-man matches, which I don't want to see. Like, I remember when I first started seeing 6-man matches, it was like, okay, it was a cool concept. But just, today, it's just, I do believe the word scapegoat, okay? It's just another way of just putting everybody together when you don't have a creative story for people. You just throw them together in a 6-man match. Like this week, I think it was a Private Party and Darby Allin versus, what's it, the Inner Circle? Why? Why? Then not too long ago, we saw Private Party versus Santana and Ortiz, and it was actually a tribute match to my guy Matt Travis, R.I.P. My guy Matt Travis. I will always carry your legacy, you know, as long as I'm alive. But anyway, that was a tribute match that they did for Matt Travis. But did I want to see them again? No, because anybody who went to HOG, House of Glory, have seen these two teams fight each other all the time. So, the Trios Championships, just getting back to that, the Trios Championships, I don't want to see. MVP, my man Montel Vontavious Porter. Now, he came back during the Royal Rumble, is one of my highlights. And he said the word going around saying that he was sticking around with WWE, right? He wrestled a match on Monday Night Raw against Rey Mysterio, and he lost. And if y'all knew this was going to be MVP's last match, I'm quite sure y'all went over it before the weekend. Y'all couldn't bring the inflatable back for one night. Hell, y'all didn't even give this man pyro. If this was MVP, the disrespect that WWE gave MVP on this last month, if this was really his last match, he says his career is winding down, so I do expect 2020 to be his last year of wrestling, so I'm assuming he's just going to finish up indie dates, and then that's it. But I do expect MVP to be working with WWE. Now, a lot of people saw MVP's announcement saying that it was his last match, and people were saying like, oh, well, I thought he was going to stick around. No, I do believe MVP is sticking around with WWE. He's gonna finish up his dates on the indies, and I do see MVP maybe coming back to like do the pre-show panel, or there was a picture that I saw earlier this week, and I thought it was kind of an interesting picture. The Street Profits with MVP. Now the Street Profits have enough personality as is, but if you add a Montel Vontavious Porter, oh. Do you know what that? I guess it will only work. I feel like that will only like really work if the Street Profits ever decided to turn heel. I don't know, because I feel like if you have MVP with the Street Profits, I think it might be overkill with the baby faces. But if there was a heel, if they was heel, and you have an MVP to the mix, that's something that for me that's kind of interesting because I'm a huge Street Profits fan. But I do expect MVP to you're definitely going to see MVP more. A lot of people jumping to conclusions because MVP said that that was his last match. He said that was his last match. MVP is going to be back with WWE. Mark my words. He's going to be back. And I can't wait to see my guy used in any way, whether he's doing commentary or the panel or a manager or GM. He was already GM in Impact. I would love to see that again. In any way y'all can use MVP. I would appreciate it because that man has a whole lot of talent. Y'all know how much I love that guy, man. I respect him so much. Andrade Cien Almas. He gets suspended 30 days. He violated the wellness policy. So you know what that means. He's suspended for 30 days. And the interesting thing is now Paul Heyman must be really high on Andrade because usually when somebody's the champion and they fill the wellness program or policy or whatever, they usually drop their title. This week they had a rematch with Humberto. I can never pronounce this guy's name. Humberto, who they need to bring back his freaking old music back. I don't like his new music. Humberto's last song was lit. Yo, bring that back, WWE. I don't know not one word that they saying in that song, but that song is fire. But anyway, Humberto, everybody's just probably going to think that Humberto was just going to win the title because Andrade had failed the wellness program. But I guess to write Andrade off, they did the same thing that Andrade did to Humberto a few weeks ago with him DDTing him on the concrete. So I guess it's just going to write him off for like a few weeks, but that's for 30 days, right? And WWE likes to use this rule every once in a while. They like to use it whenever they can. They use it for people like Naomi who got injured and had to relinquish her championship, but won't use it for like somebody like a Brock Lesnar or something. But isn't like you're supposed to defend your title within 30 days? This is a 30-day suspension, so obviously mathematically he won't be competing in 30 days. Unless, I don't know. I'm not going to try to think too much into this. But we figured that he was going to drop the title. Now, they must be really high on Andrade, which they should be because Andrade is a very talented wrestler. And he should be a world champion soon. Because that guy has the talent. He has the look. He has the mouthpiece in Zelina Vega, who's hot as hell. He's the total package. He doesn't have to really talk. You have Zelina do it for him. And he's a freaking 5-star wrestler. One of the top wrestlers in the world. It was kind of interesting. I did not want to see him drop the title to Humberto, but I'm kind of glad that they did keep the title on him. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, but that's kind of interesting. The whole 30-day thing. I wonder what he got hit for. But it's probably in the supplements that he's using. There's a whole lot of things that goes into the whole wellness thing. It's not necessarily weed, and so a lot of people jump to the conclusion that he's taking weed or steroids. But sometimes these supplements that the wrestlers be taking got stuff in it that that they can't take. Sometimes it's not really steroids or nothing or weed. But yeah, AJ Styles got injured during the Royal Rumble match. I mentioned that he took one of the spears by Edge, and yeah, it was a pretty brutal spot. Now, AJ Styles, he went on his Mixer.com thing. That's when he goes on, he streams video games and stuff. And I do believe fans asked him, was he okay? How bad was the injury? And he said that he does have a separated shoulder, and he will scratch and claw his way to WrestleMania. So I do expect AJ Styles to be back for WrestleMania. We got some weeks. We got some weeks left, leading into WrestleMania. Now I do expect AJ Styles to be back for Mania. And if you see the spear that AJ Styles took, Edge speared him. And AJ Styles, he's a professional. He wants to make the other guy look good. So in doing that, he kind of oversold. He flipped over and he landed on his left shoulder. And when you see it, especially in slow-mo, it's like a nasty fall. You can see it happening. So he had to call an audible in that match. But that's where AJ Styles got injured, and I hope my guy comes back, man. We need AJ Styles for WrestleMania time. But that's how he got hurt. What we got? We got about 5 minutes left. I want to end off with my man. Now, I'm not talking about the big man, Bobby Lashley. No. I want to talk about my man, John Cena. John Cena is supposed to come back for WrestleMania. Actually, I got 2 John Cena news stories. John Cena, well, actually, everybody knew that he was supposed to be in Fast and Furious 9. But the trailer, it's been, confirmed. John Cena is in Fast and Furious 9. And I can't wait to see that movie, to see my man, John Cena. Anybody that really follows John Cena, and I've been following John Cena since I was a little Jimmy, knows how much he loves cars. John Cena has a car collection. He loves cars. And to see John Cena in this type of movie, John Cena is going to love the hell out of it. This is going to be, I already know this is going to be one of his favorite roles. because John Cena loves cars. Anybody who knows John Cena knows how much he loves cars. So I'm happy to see my guy happy and in this role. I'm definitely going to see this movie. Support my man John Cena in the Fast and Furious franchise. I do believe they got one more movie after this, the Fast and Furious 10. So it'll be cool if we could get a Rock and John Cena in Fast and Furious 10. Like, get all the characters back in there. But the bigger situation, we have John Cena versus somebody from NXT. That's the rumor that's going around. John Cena is supposed to have a big match with somebody from NXT. Now, I don't know if John Cena is going to show up on NXT or we have John Cena on a Monday Night Raw or SmackDown and NXT Superstar will come out. But this is kind of interesting. This opens up a wide frame of people. You can have Tommaso Ciampa. You can have a John Cena versus Adam Cole, baby. You can have a John Cena versus the Velveteen Dream, which I think that might be the match. That might be the match. I think it's either John Cena and the Velveteen Dream or John Cena versus Johnny Wrestling. You have the two Johnnies that like to kick out at 2. Who will kick out? Who will not kick out at 2? That'll be in the eyes of the beholder, but that match would be fantastic. You just know that if you're going to see a John Cena versus a Johnny Gargano match, just know that you're going to see about 30 kickouts apiece from each person. You're never going to know when this match is going to end. I can see John Cena hitting the Super AA, then another AA on Johnny Gargano, and Gargano kicking out at 2. So we got some NXT matches. A John Cena versus Matt Riddle will be interesting. A John Cena versus Keith Lee will be interesting. NXT got some people down there. I don't want to see John Cena versus Balor. Like, don't trick us like that. Don't trick us like that. Because Balor's an NXT guy now. I want to see something fresh. John Cena versus a Velveteen Dream, or John Cena versus a Johnny Kickout, or John Cena versus Adam Cole, baby. I'm more like with the Velveteen Dream one. I like that because John Cena is a huge Velveteen Dream fan, and I would love to see that match. I would love to see these two in the ring. I would love to see what they can do, man. But we shall see. The road to WrestleMania begins. Like I said in the beginning of the show, the road to WrestleMania begins. The time for talk is over with the Royal Rumble. It's done. It's played out. Now we just have to see and hope and pray that WWE gets their stuff together and we book WrestleMania the right way. All right? So, my peoples, this has been one hell of an episode. I had so much fun talking about this stuff. And yeah, until the next WildKat Wrestling Wrap-Up, your boy, the WildKat, J. Troy, is out. Appreciate y'all. Once again, my peoples.